have to say right at the start that our next guest has helped me with immigration issues personally, okay? Get that out there. Now, there is a report that says the U.S. welcomes about 100,000 Muslim immigrants legally each year. That is the fastest growing immigrant group coming to America. Here is immigration attorney Michael Wiles, who joins us here in New York City.
Morning, Stuart.
I know you're a Democrat. You are, aren't you?
Some of us.
You've told me before you were a Democrat, okay?
They put makeup on me anyway.
So, do you think we should... Welcome aboard. Now, do you think we should now stop or vastly reduce Muslim immigration to America?
The next greatest invention or solution to cancer may come from a Muslim physician. We must stop the hijacking of the Muslim faith. We must stop the proliferation of homegrown terrorists, and we must
can't do that, Michael.
Work seamlessly with our local and FBI law enforcement. But immigration has historically had this sieve, these porous borders, and it's time to fix it. We have students, clerics, diplomats in this country without the proper visas. But we cannot just throw out Muslims like in the 1800s when they tried to get rid of Chinese. They built all the railroads, they competed with jobs, and we didn't want them anymore.
Okay, but can we operate a more effective filter on those Muslims coming to America? You have any objection to that?
Absolutely, we need to. There are a lot of rules on the books to stop people from getting visas to come into the country. You can never have enough. There needs to be redundancies and the seamlessness. A foreign student comes to America, the transcripts have to be available for analysis. What kind of forensic sciences are they involved in? Who are they with? The kind of lone wolf that takes travels. We want to make sure that we treat this, Stuart, as a war on terrorism, that we separate those people from radicalizing people in jails, and that we don't have the cameras and the lights of our courtrooms showing the methods and procedures of intelligence and law enforcement. This is a war, and that means we got to get the foot soldiers, and we have to stop the nations that would finance this. But we're not going to take people of faith, of any faith. This is the greatest experiment in democracy, and we are not going to set our policy on fear.
Okay. How far would you go? I mean, if we've got for example, there's something called the diversity visa.
Sure.
Okay? You know more about this.
55,000 green cards to people at the end of the year because we want to have a representation of those countries, New Zealand, Australia, that don't come.
But don't most of those 55,000 diversity visas actually go to Muslim people?
No, it doesn't. No. Most of those visas go to a random, again, calculus of people that haven't applied historically from certain countries because they want to have this diversity. Listen, frankly speaking, and I'm probably going to embarrass my father who started our firm back in the day, it doesn't make sense in a world that is looking at content and character and has a war on terrorism to have 55,000 just green cards randomly sent down there when consulates are now backed up for a decade on legitimate business needs that American employers need. Okay. We need to have a quality and a quantitative, and we need to have seamless redundancies between our law enforcement intelligence services to make sure we ferret out the bad people.
We don't have that now, do we?
No. I mean, we have it more than we had a decade ago, but we're still miles away from our brothers and sisters in the state of Israel, for example, who have dealt with ferreting out terrorists, who have multiplicity of systems in place.
I'm almost out of time, Michael, but what do you think about the president trying to bring in 5 million undocumented illegals and just bring them and giving them green cards and giving them social security cards? What do you think about that?
The last president to deal with this was President Reagan. We have 11 million people here unlawfully. We don't have enough handcuffs, airplanes, and beds or planes to remove them. So what are we going to do with them? The people that are coming in...
Why do we give them social security cards where people are waiting 3-4 years at the consulates overseas?
Every president has cycled these individuals. Every mayor in a local town, I'm a former mayor myself in New Jersey, is trying to deal with a position of comfort. The mayor of New York gave 500,000 people ID cards. We should at least have insurance and people healthy. You have day laborers, you have muster zones, you have stacking conditions in housing because we have a deafening silence in Washington.
I don't feel like paying anymore. But Michael Wiles, we're out of time, and I had the last word. That was what a treat that is. Michael, thank you very much for joining us.
Lovely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.